Let's speak about stocks such as Apple versus cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Baby, what is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I do indeed have the clothing line, and that proves that fact. And today we're going to speak about stocks and crypto. So I don't think it's a joke that right now a lot of people have moved from stocks to crypto, especially the shorter term players. A lot of the guys who are on penny stocks, who are on these hyper growth stocks, have moved to crypto, because let's be honest, that's where the highest volatility, that's where the highest risk reward is as of this moment in time. And as a person who spent a considerable portion of his time on YouTube, speaking about penny stocks, doing some day trading, some swing trading, and some long-term investing in these penny stocks, a lot of people seem to think that I would have gone over to crypto, and I understand the assumption. And I've never really spoken about crypto on this channel outside of one or two videos speaking about Dogecoin in the past. So what I want to do today is just kind of give my thoughts on stocks and crypto as a whole, investing, trading, whatever it is you want to do in them. And in order to do that, there's a few different categories we're going to speak about today, a few different things we're going to speak about. Potentially the single most important one, and potentially the biggest difference between stocks and crypto, is what dictates the price. Aside from that, we're going to go through the history. So the history of the stock market, how long it's been around, and then the brief history of crypto. The risk factors associated with stocks and crypto, and I don't just mean high risk, high reward or to the moon. We're going to go a little bit deeper than that. The regulation differences. Not anybody can go list a publicly traded company. Pretty much anybody can make their own coin. And one thing I want to touch off a little bit towards the end of the video is just the cyclical nature of both of these industries. So the cyclical nature of stocks and of crypto in general. Now, I want to premise the video by saying I'm by no means a professional at either the stock market or crypto, but I know a little bit more about the market than I would about crypto. So if there's any crypto genies out there, I'm not trying to cause offense, feel free to educate me. I'm always here for it. So right before we do get into today's video and we speak about the likes of Apple, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, a lot of coins, a lot of stocks, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? Maybe drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you are focused on right now. I genuinely am really interested. Are you putting money into stocks, or have you gone over to crypto? And please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button if you want more content, my friends. Also, if you're interested in joining my private Discord group, that is the first link in the description. In there, you will get access to my buy and sell alerts. There's loads of different chats in there. And if you like to free stocks on Webull, get yourself some free money. That's the second link. You got to sign up, deposit $100. It's that easy. So the first point I want to bring up is what dictates the price of a stock and what dictates the price of a coin. And there are several differences here. The thing that needs to be known about a stock is you're investing in a company. You are buying a very small percentage of a company. If you buy one share of Apple right now for $133.17, you own a part of the company that is Apple. And this is something that's very important to understand from the offset of this video, because this is pretty much one of the biggest things that dictates a stock's price, is how well the company's performing. So with Apple, for example, a simple Google search will show me the current price, how much it is up today as of the market open, the market cap, that's 2.23 trillion. It'll show me its current PE ratio, its dividend yield, lots of things. If I go over to Apple Investor Relations, I can get their fiscal year 21 second quarter results. It's the first thing I'm going to see. There's a newsroom, okay? If we go down further, we can go and look back at years and years of financial data. And so what we can do with all of this information that these companies are legally required to give to us on a minimum of a quarterly basis is form real valuations. Now, there's lots of different ways to value companies, okay? How to value a stock. There's absolute valuations, relative valuations, a dividend discount model. A very popular one is discounted cash flow. An awful lot of people use this one. Comparable company analytics. We look towards, our price to sales, our future price to sales, our PEs, our future PEs, etc., etc. There's a lot of metrics that we can use to determine realistically whether or not a company is at a good buying price, a little bit expensive, or too cheap. And the reason we can do this is because these companies have to give us certain information. With Bitcoin or any altcoin, any other crypto, even the big ones, they don't have to do those things. And you're not investing in a company. Now, what I think is quite important to do when it comes to speaking about crypto in general is to differentiate, coins such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., the big ones, to the altcoins, the ones that, there's hundreds of them popping up every day. Some of them shoot up in value because they get a lot of hype behind them. I think they are almost two different markets. Similarly to somebody investing in the S&P 500 is not comparable to somebody investing in, more speculative penny stocks. But I mean, we go and look at Bitcoin, for example, we can easily see what price it is right now. I can see its market cap is over $1 trillion. I can see its days range, 52-week range, the volume, daily volume. I can go all the way back to when Bitcoin started and see the huge swings, which we will come back to later. But the point is, there is nowhere near as much information in regards to Bitcoin or any altcoin out there as there is with literally any publicly traded company. Bitcoin can't come out with earnings. It can't come out with, you know, saying next quarter we expect to increase sales by this much. And it's for that reason that the primary way this gets valued is just by the people alone. And I think the large majority of people watching this will remember 2017, 2018. Everybody was speaking about Bitcoin, and it was this thing you had to own. I remember my friends buying this. Obviously, we didn't have money back then, but they were buying 50 or 100 euro, whatever it was, worth of Bitcoin. You know, people were making money, and then boom, look at that crash from the peaks all the way down to those really, really low points. It is the people who decide how much Bitcoin, Ethereum, and every altcoin is worth at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to get at. Now, the next thing I want to speak about is history, because with history comes data, and with data, again, we can see trends. Stock market created back in 1611. I'm sure a lot of you guys do know this story. I won't get too into it. It definitely was not what it is today, but that's when things started, and we started gathering data for literal centuries. For example, the average annual return of the S&P 500 since adopting the 500 stocks into the index in 1957 through 2018 is roughly 8%. So we know that on average with the S&P 500, if you hold it for a considerable amount of time, you can expect to earn 8%. First cryptocurrency was invented in 2009. About 4 centuries later. So I think it goes without saying we have a lot more historical data when it does come to the stock market. And that's not a point that, in my opinion, should be overlooked. With the stock market, we understand these averages. We understand that, you know, you can play it safe, you can go medium risk, you can go high risk. You can go to a broker, tell them the percentage you want to make, tell them your risk tolerance, and, you know, they'll come back with something for you. We have learned all of these different valuation methods. We've learned from the greats. We've seen how things have changed every couple of decades. With crypto, we don't really have that same level of history yet, which on one hand is extraordinarily exciting because maybe, just maybe, crypto is going to take over and you're going to get in within the first decade pretty much. But maybe it's just going to come and go as a fad. Or maybe it's not going to explode into what a lot of people hope it will, myself included. I mean, Bitcoin is sitting at a $1 trillion market cap, my friends. You can't ignore that. And so on this point, I want to go on to risk. That's one of the specific reasons I brought up the S&P 500, okay? I mean, we have literal decades, what's that, 7 decades or so worth of data in front of us saying that, you know, on average, you're going to make 8% a year. 70 years worth of returns right there. 70 years worth of data. Borderline guaranteeing you over the long term 8%. That's a very safe and very popular method of investing, especially for people who don't want to actively manage their own portfolios, people who don't want to have to keep up to date with companies, people living very busy lives. So with the stock market, I think most people will notice you can play it very safe or very high risk, and I've been on both spectrums of it. I've invested in safe dividend companies. I've invested in, you know, high risk growth stocks for the long term. I have day traded penny stocks, which is as risky as it gets. I've done it all and I enjoy it all, and I believe there's a time and place for all of it, depending on the person and their goals. With crypto, I don't think it would be fair to say that pretty much any of it is safe yet. Mainly, again, down to the lack of data. Look at Bitcoin, for example. We brought up this crash earlier on. It's seen its fair share of crashes, and now everybody thinks, you know, this time is different. Potentially the most dangerous phase in any financial market. Is this time really different, or are we destined to see Bitcoin come crashing back down? That's the question. Now, the thing is, this does go for a lot of stock market investors as well. I mean, if you're investing in the S&P 500, not so much, but if you're actively managing your own high-risk portfolio, yeah, you can definitely see this sort of volatility. You can see these kind of returns. I'm in HCMC. I was up over 400% in them in a matter of a week or two, and then it came all the way back down to being up like 20%, and I was in the red for a bit. Now I'm back up nearly 200%. I just think that when it comes to stocks, it's a lot easier to manage your risk, is the point I'm trying to take. And I want you guys to keep in mind that right now we're speaking about Bitcoin, which is potentially considered to be the safest crypto investment. And then there's the altcoins, okay, which is, let's be honest, where most people are heading towards right now. The high risk, high reward plays. And trust me, I love those plays. Mr. Beast fans believe he misled them into a refinable crypto scam. Mr. Beast is potentially one of the biggest, like top 5 internet names out there right now. Most of his audience is younger people. Mr. Beast backed this altcoin. It was planned to launch at 33 cents a coin, but the hype caused it to launch at 8.35. And essentially, as soon as it went live, it plummeted to the ground and pretty much everybody lost a lot of money. So that's one of the risks, but it also falls into our next area, regulation. these coins are not regulated nearly as much as the stock market is. Now, don't get me wrong, ill doings happen in the stock market with publicly traded companies all of the time. I just see it happen so frequently with these altcoins in particular. Things like this wouldn't really happen in the stock market. We already know what's going to happen. We know what prices companies plan to go public at. Sometimes they get changed higher. It is what it is. The point is that your everyday person doesn't lose money if that initial public offering price does end up being higher. In this scenario, people followed their favorite influencer. People probably just were after really quick money. There was a lot of hype behind it. Even I saw it on social media. Pretty much everybody lost huge. So risk and regulation do go hand in hand there. And I think it would be very difficult to argue that, you know, stocks aren't more safe and more regulated than crypto in general. Of course, it's easy to go really high risk in stocks as well, but we're speaking about the overall markets. And the last thing is cycles. We don't need to get too into this, especially when it comes to stocks. I think everybody has seen the cyclical nature of them. Last March, everybody poured into value stocks once these crashes started happening. I remember cruise lines, airlines, they were the place to be investing, and they've done really well since. Then people went from value to big tech, Facebook, Apple, all of the FANG stock. Remember Spotify, Shopify, all of those guys started going crazy. Then people kind of went from tech to, you know, a little bit more growth style. EV started to get very, very popularized as well. And we are seeing it happen again now. The Dow Jones has been outperforming the S&P and the Nasdaq for a little bit of time at this stage, which is not normal. So again, to an extent, we can see people wanting less risk in their portfolios. That's a general telltale sign. So that's the cyclical nature of stocks. But ultimately, when you look back 50, 60, 70 years down the line, every one of those, you know, individual sectors has performed very, very well, despite going through its highs and its lows. Again, we don't have enough data to say this for cryptos, but there are essentially the main coins, your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, etc., etc. Then there are altcoins. And there is something called alt season. Now, alt season doesn't just start on a specific day or anything of the sorts, but essentially, okay, it's about 90 days. Altcoin season, if 75% of the top 50 coins perform better than Bitcoin over the last season, that's altcoin season. So it's a cyclical nature. We will often see when Bitcoin starts to underperform, people will sell relatively near the tops, pump that money into some more popular altcoins, and rinse and repeat. So they both do have quite clear cycles, but it is potentially easier to read the crypto cycle. There's not as much that you have to look at, which could mean that for a day trader or a swing trader, it could be easier to manipulate, to play with. Now, with all of that information, me personally, I just prefer the stock market. Maybe it's because I don't understand crypto enough. I'll hold my hands up and say that, you know, I haven't put enough time into it. I used to think that I didn't like penny stocks, but the only thing was I hadn't looked into them enough. I hadn't learned them well enough to actually make money. And when penny stocks were going crazy, I don't know how long it was, 3 months ago maybe, we were making a lot of money very quickly. And now penny stocks aren't going as crazy in general. Crypto's going more crazy. They're taking our money. When it comes to actual investing though, in my opinion, I much prefer investing in stocks, in actual companies that we can value. The valuations are always changing. We get real news. I wouldn't be too looking into investing in these coins. When it comes to trading, I mean, the coins guys are killing the stock market guys right now. Yeah, do your thing. I trade anything. I've said it before on this channel, if I understand it. But anyway, my friends, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully that clears up my thoughts on both of these things, and I was able to give you some sort of useful information that you may not have known. If you watched this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. If you did enjoy, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, perhaps drop me a little comment, and please, my friend, subscribe if you're new around here. Again, if you are interested in joining that private Discord group, or you want those free stocks on Webull, that's the first or second link in the description. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I will see you for another video very soon. Peace.